Bum, 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 bum. If I can get that to sync up, that'd be amazing.
Synced up on my.
All right. That's good.
I just got to pull up chat.
Yeah. Don't forget, we're going to clap after every segment just to be safe. Even though I don't think it's the internet that's the issue, it would have been my computer lagging or Quack's computer lagging. If his like screensaver turned on or something, that might have been it. So yeah. Oops, I just turned on my PlayStation.
Can tell.
Okay. That should be a little bit better. Oh, and then when we get to what games you're going to talk about, do Batman last. I got to turn this thing off because it's like. Oh wait, did you change the the thing on my microphone when we were doing the show together?
Yeah, it's on.
Which one do I want?
The one with the big circle on top, a little circle on the bottom.
Figure 8.
No. Or it's actually just kind of looks like a butt.
Kind of looks like a butt, like a Venn diagram. There's that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it should be geared like toward.
Well, no, that's the one it was on. It kind of looks like Pac-Man. Yeah, that's the one it was on. We're good then.
All right. See what it looks
Play it.
like on.
No, because I don't have Twitch pulled up. I could pull it up on my phone. That's what I'm going to do. Pull it up on my phone. Of course. He said Fudd's getting his kids into bed.
Oh, he can jump in during the show.
Okay. Let me see what he has to say. Have you seen the new Godzilla?
Oh, you just saw the background.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Oh, just really.
Mm-hmm. You can barely see it.
God, I am.
Oh, I was thinking today about like if we did just like life stuff and shenanigans podcast, since we don't really do that anymore on the show, on the main show, what we would call it. And I was like, probably call it the Barely ADS podcast. Let's see. I'm asking, trying to get an ETA from FUD. I said we could wait possibly if you want us to. Do you want to wait for FUD?
I'm down.
All right. Hey, Phoenix. You're going to have to change your beautiful thing. Well, maybe not. You're a model? I mean, that ass is pretty sexy. I saw a lot of it when we were bowling. I knew what you meant. You know that's right. Hey. So this is a long pre-show today. Well, could potentially be 5 minutes to who knows how long of a pre-show.
But what's the response?
Still no response. Hey, what's up, Evil? How's it going? Oh, he's responding now. He said like an hour plus.
Nope.
Yep. I told him to go ahead to hop and stream when he's done, and we might pull him in at that point.
These dang old non-gods time people.
I know, right? What the hell is mountain time anyway? Jeez.
It's for dicks.
So, all right. Well, let's clay up and get this thing on the road.
1, 2, 3. You know what I'm sick of? People asking if they're too fat to ride BMX.
Just start doing it, and you will stop being as fat, right?
Like, I weigh 250 pounds. Am I too big for a BMX bike? No. You're really not. Like, I'm 6'2", 250. I'm like, no, you're fine.
6'2", 250? That's not even that fat.
No. It's like, we're fine. Burton Evil it does, but like any non-Walmart. I've seen
Depending on the Walmart bike too, like even a Walmart bike might be able to do it. Some of those are made pretty well.
any
'cause they're
Walmart
owned by
BMX.
Walmart.
As long as it's not a Walmart BMX.
Mm.
That's specifically.
I feel
But
how's that cheer wine?
okay, so the 17 perfection.
There you go.
Hello, listeners. This is BarelyADS.
Yo, how's it going?
Gone. Us live at Barely. some night at about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I like how this changes week.
Yep.
Hey, Velcro. Velcro. It gets a bad customer. It gets bad customer. This we have Bloom album called Withered. Check that out at bandma.bandcamp. Dollars. Support.
Yeah.
They're
Do it.
you want your band on here. Find a link to
Yeah.
just Oh, I know what it is.
What'd you do? Do we have to start over?
Oh.
Okay.
It's give me one, folks. Times this happens, my limiter's set to high.
Ah. You know, audio nerd problems.
We're just gonna turn it off. So
Yeah.
now you have background noise, but I won't be cutting in and out. So
Dope.
have fun
Love
listening to my AC until it decides to stop being hot as hell. Then that sound will go away. Anyway.
Indeed.
All right. You want to talk about video games? Or you want to talk about life?
Start with life.
Life. It's a cereal. It's a damn good one at that. Kid tested, mother approved.
I mean, Mikey likes it.
Mikey likes everything. He'll eat anything. Let's see what's been going on. Got back from Ohio. Oh yeah, I wasn't on last week because I went to Ohio. So I went to my old local skate park, and it's quite different than my new local skate park. I was able to do some stuff I carved around in a bowl for the first time, and wow, that's awesome on a bike.
Yeah, and that bowl is incredible and really tall.
Yeah, it's very big. It's very forgiving for a bike if you're gonna stay underneath the coping. Otherwise, it's so steep. But it was fun. And then they had another smaller bowl. So when I carve to the left. I come in, and this bowl is like on top of a little hill. So you got to get a bunch of speed, go up the little hill, and then it's like almost a full bowl with a little entranceway cut out. So I go ripping around it from the right side. I'm going counterclockwise to the left, and as I get to the point where I need to stop, the bowl kind of. Remember, I'm going to my left side. That's where all my momentum has been going, and the bowl kind of curves out to the right. So if I turn to the right, I will just eat it for sure. If I turn to the left, I'm going off of a jump or hitting a wall.
Yep.
So I barely squeaked by to the right side of the wall. It was super sketchy, and of course, I'm still riding brakeless on one of my bikes.
Hey.
I finally put a brake on my dirt jumpy bike. That is not quite a dirt jumper yet. It's just a bike with no pegs. And I took it to a walking / biking path in downtown Greenville. And it was so much fun. My wife and I went and just kind of rode around. And I was using this opportunity to just jump all over stuff. And turns out that the cranks on this bike are finally at the point where I can't tighten them enough to make them stop wiggling, and they make a real loud clunking noise when I land, so it's super sketchy. So that bike is gonna go. It's just gonna stay on the wall until I can buy some new cranks. I throw those on my new bike. Get some left-hand drive cranks for all you fancy people that ride BMX and have pegs on your right side. You can get left-hand drive, so that way when you're doing your feeble grinds, you're not gonna bash your sprocket or your chain. Move it to the other side, away from those pegs. So we're gonna get some left side drive pegs. We're gonna get that free coaster. Gonna get my brakes, a gyro. So maybe in about 2 months, month or two, I will have my new bike finished. It's rideable now, but it's not safe. I like brakes. Brakes are fun.
I like brakes too.
Yeah. Yeah, the bike that you aided on now has brakes.
There you go.
Except now it's not rideable for a different reason, because holy crap, if you were to break one of the crank arms while you're riding, that would be so extremely scary.
Yeah, I believe it.
And I started learning fast plants today, or foot plants. So it's a foot plant, just like on a skateboard. Think of it like a boneless on a skateboard.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like that. You just hang one foot off, lean over, jump off of your foot that is not on the pedal, and lift that bike up. Now, I wasn't really doing them on anything big. I'm still trying to figure out how to jump and then get my feet back on. But that's a story for another time. While in Ohio, I learned how to do flyouts, which is when you hit a quarter pipe and then you land on the deck. There's not a lot of... There's no opportunity for me to do that here in South Carolina, so that kind of sucks. And then there's no bowls here either, so I can't do my other fun thing. Nevertheless, I had a great time in Ohio riding my bike. And then I got shown up. Some youngsters showed up doing their 180s and stuff. Whew. Doing their 360s. Some high school kids. I showed up right at high school clock. Like, we put my kids down for a nap, and my buddy rolled out to the park that's right by my in-laws' house, and it was like 3 o'clock, and all these kids just started showing up. Even a kid on rollerblades.
Hey.
Not skate park rollerblades, though.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I was like,
brakes on it?
Yeah. I was like, hey, Kat, what are you doing here?
Right. It's really tough to ride on these things when you have brakes.
Needless to say, we left real quick.
Yeah, for sure. I went disc golfing twice this past week. Found another new course. This one I liked a lot better, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. If you want to see pictures, I posted them in the Distinguished Gentleman / Dad Tales disc golf channel.
It's a good place for them.
Yeah, there's a river that like runs along the outside.
Does it run through it?
A river runs through it. No, it's along the edge. Anyway, so the second time I went, though, I lost 2 discs, both in the same patch of really tall knee-high grass, because I could not see where they landed. The first time you're throwing up the hill, bye-bye disc, didn't see it. And that was my second favorite disc that I lost there. And then the second time you're throwing back down the hill, and I like purposely threw my disc so it hit the ground and scoot and try and get to stop near the hole. And it scooted so fast that it just kind of flew off the edge of the hill and curved into that tall grass, and I didn't see where it landed. So bye-bye 2 discs, and that second one was my absolutely favorite disc. So I have to rebuy those. I feel like I buy those 2 specific discs more than any other disc. So maybe I'll have to get 2 of each next time.
You should. Yeah. I just realized this show is being tailored specifically for JC Jesse at this point. Just talking about BMX and disc golf. Those are the 2 things he likes to hear about from us. Let's talk about kids, and then we can talk about
farts and dick jokes.
An Xbox.
Yeah, for sure. But aside from disc golf, I've still been playing a ton of Dota Underlords, getting better. RNG can really be the bane of your existence in that game. Sometimes you commit to a certain like ally set, and then it decides not to give you that ally set. So yeah, um, that can be painful. But when it goes well, and it really goes well, feels so good. Um, and then aside from that, Ben and I played a little $10 game on the Switch called Heave Ho. It is so ridiculous. So it's really just three buttons. And
I,
yeah, so
you're a
go
little
ahead.
guy.
Yeah, you're a little guy.
You have
You
your circle, and you have two arms, and you can roll around, and you can grab stuff with your hands, and you just
yeah, two
basically
shoulder
make
buttons, one for each hand.
you
And
basically just make a chain with you and your buddies and swing around and get from point A to point B on the level.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
And it sounds so simple, but it's really funny. Um,
Yeah. But yeah, it's really good. We played with his wife, and you have to cooperate sometimes too. And
my favorite is trying to get the coins, because if you grab a coin, obviously you can't grab anything else. So normally the way it would work is like I can grab Steve's wrist, and he could also grab my wrist, or he could not grab my wrist. It doesn't really matter. But it kind of gives you like 2 points of like somebody could be grabbing the other person. We're fine. Um, if if somebody grabs a coin, you're just locked. And like that
yep.
hand is completely useless until you get the coin into the goal. So we've been going strictly for coins, and it's working out great. And then they have
Yeah.
that fun mini game where you have to like arrange your arms in the same way that this Rockstar Goober guy does, and that's a really fun little mini game. I don't know, it's hilarious. It's $10. It's on the Switch, and
Yeah.
it easily plays with one Joy-Con.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty good, pretty good. And then you were playing something else when I came over today.
Yeah, I spent $10 more on something. So
Wait, you spent money on it?
I did. I bought the season pass to a game that was free on
Oh.
PlayStation Plus. It's Batman Arkham Knight. I've played probably like 12 hours of that game previous to this playthrough. I never really got far, but I figured whatever, it's $10. The season pass is half off. It's like $30 worth of content if you buy it piece by piece. So I've been playing that. I don't know. It's kind of mindless, but they are so good at like if you think about the formula for the game, it's just go here, beat people up. But they're really good at breaking that formula up with mini games that they're not fun, but it distracts you long enough that way when you get to the next fighting section, it's all right. And then right when you're about sick of fighting, they'll have another hero show up. So it'll be like Catwoman or Nightwing or Robin or Azrael. And when they show up, you can just hit L1 and then go fight as them. And then there's like really cool, like it'll be like duo combo, and you can knock somebody out. And when you do that, it automatically switches to the next person. So yeah, it's really cool as far as like that goes, switching. I mainly bought the season pass because I wanted all the costumes, including the old school Adam West Batman costumes are in there for Robin, Batman, and Catwoman. And then they have some like Batman animated series costumes. Of course, you can get real nerdy, and they have like the Flashpoint and New 52 stuff.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So there's
Flashpoint means it's Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, the flavor text is like father, like son. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool costumes in that game. My favorite, Batman Beyond.
Of course.
It doesn't really look like the Batman Beyond suit, but that's because it's on a dude who's jacked and not a scrawny little kid.
That's true.
And then a reason I love it the most is because it doesn't have a cape. until you glide. Then a cape pops out.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the like armpit capes, right?
Yeah, it should be that, but it's not.
Okay.
But it's more than they did for a lot of the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
Batman's. It's an okay game. It's
It's an
not
Arkham
bad.
game.
Oh, and playing as Harley Quinn is super awesome because
Oh.
like Catwoman and Batman, like Batman, if you hit circle, he does like whips his cape at you and stuns you, and
Mm-hmm.
if you do the same with Catwoman, she whips you and stuns you. Circle's a stun. If you do that with Harley Quinn, she just pulls out a baseball bat and clocks you, and that's her stun. But then the cool thing is, if you start mashing the normal attack button after that, she just keeps the bat out and just wrecks you with a bat. I was like,
Wow.
ooh, I like playing this one.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
And her costumes are either the Batman animated series Harley Quinn or the Arkham Harley Quinn. No Suicide Squad, which I was happy
I
about.
don't know if that had. I don't know if that had come out yet.
Yeah,
Um,
they've released a ton of skins. Like the Batman versus Superman skin is in the game.
oh, okay.
So they kept releasing stuff for a long time. I also really like that skin. I like the short ears. And then they have the anime Batman skin in there, which looks crazy.
Oh, that one. I've heard that one wasn't that great.
It looks weird, and he's got extremely tall ears.
Yeah.
It's all,
Not the movie, because that's an animated movie.
well, no, I don't watch. I don't watch it.
Right.
If it doesn't have real people in it, I'm probably not going to watch it. As far as superhero movies go.
Right.
Oh well, that's Batman.
All right. Well, let's get into the news because we got some more Batman to talk about. But first, let's clap.
All right. 1, 2, 3. We're going to take a short break, listeners, if you want.
Yeah.
Because I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. That's why we clapped. Well, I'm just going to sit here and talk to you
You
guys.
should timestamp when this is.
Oh, yeah. I will. Cool. So, yes. Shout outs right now. Thanks to Gunbait for the sub. Appreciate you, homie. Bibble, you definitely need to play disc golf. You get all the same like joys of golf, but you don't have to pay like $30 every time you go because it's free, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know. You can hit that jazz cabbage while you're out there too. That's pretty common. And yeah, I'm sure there are a ton of disc golf courses out in the Atlanta area, so you got that to look forward to. As you can see, I'm still in this glorious hotel room, equipped with very, very fake art. And no, Bibble, I haven't. I didn't know that he gets in character. I need to do that. Holy crap. I'll have to throw that on while I'm playing some Dota Underlords later. I'm so hooked on that game. Dota Underlords is so good. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people have been having a ton of fun with Red Dead Online. Yeah, I technically live at my parents' house, but I got a job with Applebee's, and they while I'm training, because I'm training at a different store than the one I'm actually going to be working at, they put me up in a hotel room. So that means I get to live in this hotel room for 9 weeks, which is actually fine because the room that Ben's streaming from right now, that's supposed to be my room, but that's their work from home office right now while their actual office gets renovated. So it actually, the timing of it all works out pretty well, seeing as how I would have to be like floating around on the couch and would have nowhere to put my stuff. So I just need to. I'm not even gonna be able to jump into Forsaken, or not Forsaken, Shadowkeep when it comes out because I don't have Wi-Fi on my PC. So I get paid on the 4th, and I'm going to then bring my PC and to the hotel, buy a Wi-Fi card for it and then hope that it works. But it should, because I've been playing games over Wi-Fi on the PS4, so I imagine it'll be fine on PC as well. And yes, I am managing an Applebee's. I have all my keys are over there. A bright orange card that says manager and has an apple on it. So it's way different than Pizza Hut. I have a lot less actual like work to do, so I get to focus more on the management and the numbers and stuff like that. So it should be good. It should be good. The training is intensive. Last week was grill side line cook training, and then this week I'm doing fry side line cook training. And at the end of this week, I do the mid, which is like burgers and tacos and stuff training. And then I learn how to expo, which is the spot between the kitchen and the dining room. And then after that is front of house training for like I don't even know. No, then I have kitchen manager on duty and then front of house training. So yeah, it's pretty intense. All right, cool.
Want to
Let's
clap
clap
again?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. The news.
All right. Arkham Origins Studio teases something on Batman Day. This is from Owen S. Good at Polygon. Batman celebrated its 80th anniversary last week, and WB Games Montreal teased us via Twitter. They hadn't tweeted in like 2 years. At WB Games MTL is proud to celebrate Batman's 80th anniversary with the rest of the world during hashtag Batman Day, hashtag Batman 80. This tweet also contained a GIF of the bat symbol, and it glitched 3 times. So, of course, people looked into it. And within this glitch, there were 3 symbols. So, these 3 symbols are leading to speculation about what could be in the next WB Montreal Batman game, which, by the way, they only made Origins. Rocksteady made the other 3. And the 2 major storylines, because there was one of the glitch pictures has a dragon in it, and another one has an owl. So that points to Court of Owls, which is the first storyline in the New 52 art reboot, and then the dragon points to Ra's al Ghul and the League of Assassins or League of Shadows. So either way, that's awesome. And I would be down for both if they combine the 2 as well. It was expected that something would be announced in the most recent PlayStation State of Play, because that happened on Batman Day, but there was no such announcement. Ben, do you have any idea about Court of Owls or
No, I was gonna. I know from the Batman movies about Raz, but whatever. I'm not gonna say it.
Raz or Raish? Either like it's been said either way. All right, so
I've
quick
heard it both
rundown
ways. What's
yeah.
Court of Owls though? Because
All right,
I've
so
heard this talked about quite a few times.
Yeah. So Court of Owls is like a mysterious group that has worked in Gotham to preserve the city for long before Batman showed up. And they have ties to Old Waynes, they have ties to like a lot of things. Think Illuminati. Um, but they also delve a little bit into like gene splicing and crazy things. So there's some what are they called? Shoot, I'll think of it later. Where they combine 2 different things into one.
Chimera.
Chimera. There you go. So like there's like actual bat like people and stuff like that. But the organization runs deep, and what's interesting about it is most of the time Batman's dealing with like one villain, but this is like a group of villains with a bunch of different leaders and things like that. Even when he deals with the League of Assassins, it's just Ra's and his army. This is more like a council of people, and they're pissed that Batman is doing their job. So because Batman takes a little bit more of a public eye, he is known about, and the Court of Owls is not known about. So they're like, no, you need to be doing like Batman should not be this well known. They should not know who they're fighting, and they really go after him. They even get into the Batcave at one point. So it's a really really cool story arc, and it's like I said, the first story arc in the New 52 reboot in DC. Now, if they go the League of Assassins route, that's really interesting because I did hear a rumor on another podcast. I want to say it was Easy Allies, where Damian Wayne will be a playable character in this. And what's interesting about that is Damian Wayne's grandpa is Ra's al Ghul. Batman has a kid with Talia al Ghul, and that kid is Damian Wayne, who was raised in the League of Assassins. So that could play it into it as well. But I'm hoping more for Court of Owls.
That's crazy. Comic books are so man. They're so man. That's what I meant.
Yeah, super good. So yeah, we didn't get anything in the state of play, but there was a really, really big announcement in that state of play.
The Last of Us Part 2 will not be giving me points on my fantasy team this year.
Correct.
That's that's my announcement of the release date.
Yep. So the Last of Us Part 2 trailer reveals more gameplay and story details. This from Jordan Ramey at GameSpot. Sony revealed a new gameplay trailer during its state of play and confirmed a release date of February 21st, 2020. Some tidbits from this trailer. There are horses. Ellie's girlfriend seems to have been killed after both of them were captured.
We'll
Joel
see.
is there. Yeah. And so is Tommy, Joel's brother. The game looks even more brutal than the first one. But this is really interesting. The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out prior, but in the same year to the release of the PS5. What do you think about that?
Happened with The Last of Us. Came out the same year as the PS4. Immediately pushed over to the PS4 at 60 frames a second. And
really? It was that quick?
Yeah, it was pretty much immediate. I played The Last of Us on PS3 when it came out, and it was good. When it came out on PS4, I actually didn't end up playing through the whole game again until listeners of our show will remember that it was a few months ago, around Christmas, I think, that I did it.
When Jay was playing it too?
Yeah. Jay, did you ever finish it?
I think he did. That's one of the few that I believe he did finish.
It's so good.
So you're thinking they're going to do the same thing with an immediate remaster release on PS5?
Oh, without a doubt, man. It's a way to sell the system, you know?
Or do you think it'll be cross-platform and just scale up on the PS5?
We'll see, because here's my problem. Control comes out, runs like garbage, unless you have a PS4 Pro. Even then, not great.
Right.
There's another game that just came out, same thing, runs like garbage on baseline PS4s. I'm concerned that this game is not going to be playable for me.
Well, yeah. Which also stinks too because it's a PlayStation exclusive, so you won't be able to get it on PC. So if it doesn't run that well, then it's basically going to sit on the shelf until the PS5 comes out. That's an interesting observation. Man.
So I'm really hoping that Naughty Dog, especially being a Sony first-party studio, that Sony's like, this thing has to run on a base PS4. Like, it doesn't have to be 60 frames per second, but it has to run on this. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I'm also excited. I watched this week like an hour-long presentation on the motion capture used in The Last of Us Part 2. So it was a GDC talk from 2016, and it is incredible. Like, they had a guy put on a motion capture suit, and he just kind of like jogged down a hallway that had people in it, and they just pushed him back and forth. And then I saw that get mapped into the game of they just had a polygonal guy walking, and they had two kind of like pendulums back and forth just hitting him as he would walk. And the different stumbles and stuff like that were used it's incredible. Like, it's basically like, if you're in this animation, here are the animations that you can do out of it.
Yeah.
So but it's so detailed. It's incredible that it just takes massive amounts of data. And they were saying that, like, actually, like, that's one of the problems with it, is that it takes too much data to make it work right.
Oh yeah.
But then again, this is in 2016 when they were announcing the technology, so
Did you watch the release date trailer?
I did not.
Okay, well, I watched it, and it was a gameplay trailer, so it was running on something. Hopefully, it was running on a PS4. But with that being said, you can imagine that these, a lot of the times, it's the voice actors that are doing the motion cap as well.
Yeah.
That they basically acted out the whole game.
Oh yeah, there's
Because,
some really famous behind the scenes footage of The Last of Us 1, just motion mocap scenes. Like, you can see the cameras in the room and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the musical number.
Yes, I have. Where it's a big joke. They like basically punked one of the people on the production team.
The problem was that they weren't getting a look of surprise out of her.
Uh-huh.
So they told everybody, they said, no matter what, unless I call cut, keep going. And then they told, I forget who does Joel.
Isn't it? It's the same guy that does Nathan Drake. Why am I blanking on his name right now?
I don't know. I know it's a bigger guy.
Yeah, he's in Death Stranding. He's in Borderlands 3. I'm blanking so hard right now. Troy Baker.
Okay. So they tell Troy Baker, they tell him secretly, they say, sing your line. And he does that, and that's how they got the reaction. It's at the end of the game from I forget her name.
The very last
Yeah. It's really far at the end. The black girl, when Joel comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm super excited for this game. Even if it runs like crap, I'm going to play it through the whole thing on my base PS4.
Yeah, exactly. However, The Last of Us Part 2 will not include a multiplayer mode. That's from Luke Plunkett at Kotaku. Although the game was originally announced to have a multiplayer mode, it will not actually have it. Naughty Dog announced the lack of the multiplayer mode with the state of play, but they did come out later making a statement. I want to say this was Friday. They made the statement that they're aware of how popular the factions mode from The Last of Us 1 was, and there was a team working on it. However, the factions mode was too big and the story too long for the single player The Last of Us Part 2, that they are instead going to release that multiplayer mode at a later time, but it will not be related to The Last of Us Part 2. It'll be its own thing.
That's kind of cool. I like the idea of letting them focus down on what makes that unique and what makes that fun, because I know a lot of people really did like that multiplayer. I mean, the combat in The Last of Us is crazy as is, so adding a multiplayer element to it it was unique. I didn't enjoy it though.
Yeah, from what I hear, it was a lot more sneaky, listeny, like ninja style multiplayer. You got a lot more strategy as opposed to run and gun style.
Yeah.
So, I would love. Okay, here's a question for you. What single player game do you think would have a great multiplayer mode that doesn't have it?
Oh, geez. That's such an open question.
I'm going to say Horizon.
See, I wish if it were Mass Effect 1 and 2, if Mass Effect 3 had to come out, I would say Mass Effect, and somehow they managed to make that not what it should have been.
Yeah.
Cooperative. Well, it is cooperative, but you know what I mean. Cooperative story.
Bibbles in chat says God of War. However, there is a game that is very close to what that would be, and that's called For Honor.
He's not really wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll think about it for the rest of the show.
Sounds good. Our last news story comes to us from Rebecca Valentine at gamesindustry.biz. Logitech acquires Streamlabs for at least 89 million. An additional payout of 29 million may also be available if Streamlabs hits certain targets. Logitech basically wanted a software and streaming outlet for its consumers to use in addition to its already popular PC hardware. So now, when you're streaming using your Logitech webcam and Logitech mouse, which I am using one right now, you can also use Logitech's Streamlabs to help you stream. So that is fairly interesting.
It is.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to change anything?
No.
I think we might get some stream-specific hardware from Logitech that works well with Streamlabs.
I'm probably, but is anyone going to use it? We all got microphones and OBS. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, maybe they'll make slobs better.
The heck is slobs?
Streamlabs OBS.
I'm not a streamer. Actually, I'm a pro streamer. If you're here live, you can see how pro I am with my sick. What does they call this? What's the layout?
Overlay.
My overlay is on point. Have you seen the new Godzilla? He drinks Dr. Pepper. It's freaking crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Do you think they're gonna come out with anything cool?
Maybe. I think at most get like a Stream Deck or something like that. But also on, I think it was on kind of Funny Games Daily. They were talking about this, that they referenced that Corsair bought Elgato, and we really haven't seen much of a difference in the two companies. So like Elgato stuff is still Elgato, and Corsair is still Corsair.
Yeah.
Hopefully they make a better capture card though, because the Elgato cards you get what you pay for. You know.
I feel like I keep thinking about what they could make, and I'm just like, a mouse that is also a Stream Deck, and I'm like, isn't that just an MMO mouse?
Yeah, like a 12-button mouse or whatever.
Who can use those? If you can use those, write into the show and tell me how long you had to play with that mouse in order to be able to use it.
Right. Gaben uses one, I'm pretty sure. He brags about it all the time. He bought it for like $15 on Amazon.
Bro, I got all this Razer stuff. Actually, I don't. Just the mouse. If anybody wants a Razer Black Widow keyboard, hit me up.
They're good. I really like it. Ben just doesn't like how loud they are.
I just have a one-handed now.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yep.
All right. Let's get to these listener questions.
Brought to you by Cosmodrome Vodka. Hit it, Steve.
Let's clap first.
1, 2, 3.
This week at Cosmodrome Vodka, we are on temporary hiatus as we undergo a safety audit. Turns out that the cosmic government has safety standards for distillation autoclaves. Did you know you can't legally force hunters into an autoclave and then start a liquid cycle at 124 degrees Celsius? Oddly specific, right? Irregardless, our week will be shot while the auditors are here and while our cleaning crews scrap void and arc singe off the autoclave floor. So, until next week, please remember, accordionists need loving too.
The hell's an autoclave?
Autoclave is, I've used one of these before. It's like a science kiln.
Who the hell's writing these ads?
So basically when I used an autoclave, I would mix these things together and put them into petri dishes, and then I would stick those in the autoclave, and when they came out, they'd be gel. And that would be what the microbes would eat/reproduce on, so you can separate different microbes into different parts. And for some reason, the smell in that room was quite enjoyable.
Guys, you want to hear me talk about the limiters and gates and ratios available on the Synclavier from the 1980s? I could go on forever.
Word from scientist Bibble, because we have two scientists in our community. He has one in his lab. It's a decontaminant high temp cleaner.
Burn off the contaminants.
Which is extremely important when you're making auger. That's what the goo that the microbes eat is called, because you don't want anything that's not the thing you're studying in the petri dish.
Holy crap, this is a boring conversation. If anybody wants a better example of an autoclave, think about the neutron purge in Mass Effect 1 on Novaria. There you go. That's basically the extreme version of an autoclave. This week on Boring Science Talk Radio, autoclaves and how to make algae into food for other things. Homogenization in our workplace. Maddie wants to know, as the sun sets on Forsaken, what are your best and worst moments of the past year in Destiny? This is a rough one for me. The last year in Destiny, what happened 1 year ago? Was that the launch of Forsaken?
Launch of Forsaken. So meet you and Nar running through the story.
Wow.
Which was fun. That was a good night.
Yeah, the new subclasses. That was the best moments from the last year. It's unlocking the new subclasses.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I used Coded Commander for a long time. Best for me, probably, let's see. Getting my Luna and Recluse was pretty good. And I don't know, Forsaken was a really off year for Destiny for me. I think I played a lot more other games than that. So I'm gonna say the worst was the trickle content method didn't sit well with me. It wasn't a way that I like to enjoy the content, so I was out more than I was in. And became more of just a PvP guy.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. The structure of how the content was released made me not want to come back every day, which made me not want to come back every other day, every week, every month. I just fell off. And that because I was like, well, I'll just wait until the end when there's stuff to do, but then everybody's already at the power cap and you can't play anything with your friends. And that was the thing, and I hope is what can be avoided in Shadowkeep, is people that stop playing for a little while, it just snowballs into not being able to play.
Yep. And the only mode that's not prevalent in is Crucible.
Yep, which I'm not a fan of anymore. I took too much time off, and I don't feel like putting the work in to get good at it again.
Right. Hey, private match nights have been a lot of fun, though.
Oh yeah, I'll jump in there with a freaking.
Boys.
I like jump in there with a controller and that submachine gun that shoots electricity. This is how long it's been. I cannot, for the life of me, remember that gun's name. Risk Runner.
There you go. So, all right, yeah, we're hopeful for Shadowkeep.
I'm actually excited. I'm not going to play it when it comes out. I'm going to play it probably that weekend or the next weekend.
All right. Hey, I'll play with you if you want to run through, because I'm not going to be able to get it until the weekend.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Bike parts come first. Unless it's like $10. All right. Phoenix said, how excited are you for The Last of Us Part 2? On a scale of Mel to hell yeah, brother.
It's meh.
You're a meh?
No, I said he said meh, not Mel.
What did I say? Mel?
You said on a scale of Mel to hell yeah, brother.
I was just too excited to get into the...
Yeah, too excited. More excited than hell yeah, brother.
I'm gonna take The Last of Us 2 and I'm gonna put it in my PS4. And I'm gonna take the controller and I'm gonna grab a brick and I'm gonna brick it on someone's head.
I might take time off for that.
I wish I could.
Legit. Or just ask to be scheduled off the day it comes out and the next day.
I wish I could pull some crap. I figured out how to play any game through Steam Link on my phone. And the new Apple update lets you use Xbox controllers. So I was playing BMX Streets on my phone.
Nice.
Yeah, it works well. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
how I'm selling my PS Vita, and I was sad because that means no more PlayStation remote play of Destiny while I'm pooping. And then I was like,
Mm,
I play on PC anyway, and guess what just came to Steam? And guess who can now use controllers on their phone? Steam Link Destiny. Destiny will forever be a pooping game.
there you go. But yeah, Last of Us is like competing or has been competing a little bit with favorite games of all time of Mass Effect series. So very, very stoked for this game. If there were a midnight release type thing happening, you'd better believe you would see me waiting in line outside of a GameStop.
It's so weird because that game I feel like stands on it. Like The Last of Us stands in a category all of its own with me. Where
Yeah,
I can't really be like, oh, it's one of my favorite games. Like it's just
it's The Last of Us.
it's so good, but it's so not video gamey.
The only category it fits into me is games that changed the games industry.
Yeah,
Mass Effect is in that category. Last of Us is in that category. Halo is in that category.
because I think about games and like best games are the ones that I have the most fun with. But Last of Us, it's like
Not necessarily a fun game.
yeah, it's like
more of
what
an
it's like
experience.
yeah, it's like watching what's that Hulu show Handmaid's Tale, where you're just
Mm,
like, this is not fun. Like I'm not like, oh, how much fun am I having right now? But it's just enthralling.
right. If you want a Last of Us kind of game that's fun, play Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted's so good.
It is good. I need to play more than just 4.
I forgot my dad played that. I have Lost Legacy on disc
Oh,
if you want to borrow it.
heck yeah.
It's like half as long as Uncharted 4, and it's pretty much as good.
All right. Cool. And 4 is not long at all. It's like 20-hour game.
Yeah, this is like 10 to 12. Dosey, what's the world's worst color? I don't know what the world's worst color is, but I know the worst color topic is when people try and tell you black is not a color, it's the absence of color. You can go right to hell. I bought black spray paint. So you said, what color is that spray paint? It's not any color, it's the absence of color. Go to hell.
I'm going to say, like, I don't know what would be the worst color. Maybe, like, weird neon variants of stuff.
Yeah, any highlighter.
But this begs the question to me of, like, colors as flavors. why are colors flavors? Like, what flavor did you get? Blue? Like, if you're talking about a Gatorade or something like that.
It's very specific things, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that the world's worst color flavor is purple.
Yeah, anything that's like purple flavored, you're like, this is gross. Like grape is fine. Purple flavored, it's not. That's some low quality crap.
Yep.
Jay wants to know who would win in a fight, Frozone or Elsa. I don't know. I've never seen that movie.
See, this is a tough one because Frozone has complete control of his abilities, but I want to say that Elsa is more powerful and has a temper. So, it kind of depends. But okay, and they're both Disney movies. I don't know. But I think I'm gonna give it to Elsa.
Goku.
Goku. Bibble said Iceman, who is also technically a Disney character now that they bought Fox. But I honestly don't think it would be Iceman because Iceman can't make ramps of ice to skate on like Frozone.
But he could skate
Nor
on Frozone's ramps, right?
if he had skates.
I mean,
Frozone makes ice skates out of ice whenever he wants.
Laz wants to know, on behalf of Cosmodrome Vodka, how do you combat terrible nightmares? Our hunters haven't recovered from their last trip to the moon filled with crimson nightmares. Well, there's your problem. Go for it.
Yep. Oh, you combat them with positive dreams.
You just don't have hunters.
Yeah, that too.
Hunters won't have bad dreams if people would just pick the right class.
But yeah, so you just got to have a dream like Ben's dream that he told us about 2 weeks ago, where Pam Beasley wanted to give him a rim job.
That's not
Woke up
that dream.
No?
No. That's not what happened in that dream.
Wow. Involving Pam Beasley.
Pam Beasley tried to trick a security guard by... This is so stupid. She goes, I'll let you lick my butthole. And he goes, a rim job? And she goes, this freak's trying to give me a rim job. And then runs away.
Okay.
Yeah. And then...
still funny and still a positive dream.
Then she proceeded to run through a parking deck while a song with the lyrics, she trying to lick my asshole like a rim job, just kept repeating. It was like the most hood trap song in the world. She was like parkouring through a parking lot, and I literally woke myself up laughing. I've never done that in my life, but it was the funniest thing in the world. And we didn't talk about that on any other podcast yet.
Oh, all right.
That was just in Discord.
Well, and then my positive dream, which happened last night, was I got to interview Paul Simon in a Volkswagen Beetle. So that was a lot of fun in the dream. I woke up happy. So that's how you combat nightmares. So with positive dreams involving rim jobs and Paul Simon.
Or just don't be a hunter.
That too.
My wife hates that song.
What, the rim job song?
Yeah, I'll sing it sometimes. She's like, that's so disgusting. And I'm like, it's so funny. Like, Pam Beasley parkour, most hood trap song with those lyrics. It's so good. God, if I had millions of dollars, I would just make that short just for me to watch. It'd just be so funny.
You should make that song. Actually, Justin, make that song.
All right, it goes like this. Never mind. That's been our show. We normally don't talk about rim jobs this much, but sometimes you get new tires and you got to do a quick rim job, you know.
Yeah.
That's how that goes. Hey, if you like Super Smash Bros. Melee, check out G Drewski on Twitch. That's GDREWSKII. He's trying to get that affiliate status, so let's go give him a follow. He's playing Melee. He bought the stream stuff so he could play a GameCube game.
Right. Well, he's playing it on a PC. It's some weird thing, but yeah, still, go drop him a follow. He's good.
He is. You can find me everywhere at Detective Ben Malone. You know, DET. That's how I do it. In the GSC. Good South Carolina? I don't know. The WSC, it doesn't matter. You can find the show everywhere at BarelyADS, patreon.com/BarelyADS, BarelyADS.com, BarelyADShow@gmail.com, Twitter.com/BarelyADS, and Twitch.tv/BarelyADS. Please give us a follow on YouTube.
Band of the week was Bloom. Check them out at bloombandma.bandcamp.com. And if you want to find me, you can find me anywhere you can find me at Xanafan 711. Bam, take us out.
Oh, remember, till next week, may your Jeeps be dirty, your bunny hops be clean, and your disc throws long.
Bye, everybody, bye. One more clap.
1, 2, 3. She's trying to lick my asshole like a rim job. She's trying to lick my asshole like a rim job.
All right.